Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, March 28th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I will start with this one, and that is the fact that on Monday, we wasted no time right out of the gates pushing back above that long-term channel bottom that is at 261.55. That is a two-year structure. We closed below it 2 weeks earlier, actually 3 weeks ago today, and that set up a long-term sell signal anticipating the mid 150s, low 160s. Now, there's a pause here in that scenario, and the question is whether we can now expect upward continuation. And I'm just going to simply say yes if we can close above the 284.34 descending channel top. So even if we close today above 261.54 or 55 rather, I'm not convinced of continued gains as we move into April unless we close today above 284.34. In fact, I'm going to finesse that just a little bit. And not that I think you need to wait for a settlement also above 288.14, but 288.14 was the Tuesday high settlement price following that low from early March. And I think that would help. And that's not, it's another 4 points less than that actually. And so I've even annotated it here to the upper right, 288.14 up pivot point. Yes, if we close at 285, 286, 287, we do have a buy signal. That is actionable. But if you want sort of like a no nonsense, this is for real buy signal, that is above 288.14, a new high settlement price following the March low in combination with closing above this, what is really a 3-month descending channel top. That should then indicate 320.74 by the end of next week, 3/8 Fibonacci, and over the next 3 to 5 weeks or sooner, 376.02. So closing today above 284.34, we are expecting 376.02 by the end of April. And that could be a bit sooner if we, let's say, by the end of next week, close above the 320.74 3/8 Fibonacci level. Then we're just a week or two away from reaching 376.02. 376.02 is a long-term descending two-thirds speed line that can contain buying on a monthly, possibly quarterly basis. We can fall away from here in a meaningful way in the weeks to follow. And finally, to the upside, it would be a settlement above 376.02 in the weeks ahead that would then clarify likely bullish continuation to 509.60 5-year channel resistance. But we are a long way from that scenario right now. I will mention that this 376.02 descending two-thirds speed line will, as we continue into mid to later April, fall into the low 350s, upper 340s. And I like that. I think the timing of that is perfect, that if that were to occur, we have this old channel bottom at 347.16 and climbing that will still act and still can act as a meaningful resistance area despite the violation that occurred twice in the last several months. That covers the upside pretty well. Now, if we happen to, after having tested on Thursday, 284.34, we fall back today to close below even 264.46 doesn't look good. But yes, let's just say that if we fall back today after testing Thursday 284.34 to close the week below 261.55, then we are in a short sale mode aggressively. I mean, you can already sell short 284.34, but that's kind of, as I've been saying, more of a 2 to 3, 3 to 5 day swing trade. I have also said that for you 2 to 3 week swing traders, those of you who are trading the time horizon into later April, you can certainly have at short selling 284.34 and playing that short out as it plays out, obviously covering if we were to close above the 284.34 formation or above 288.14 if you prefer the high settlement price from Tuesday. Then exit your short position, reverse and go long 3 to 5 day swing traders to 320.74, 3 to 5 week position holders to 376.02. You can sell short at 284.34 over the longer term time frame. It's just that you're holding a pretty tight stop loss here above this formation. formation, which is no problem. And if you went short on Thursday at the 284.34 formation, you obviously want to see this market close back below this 261.55 to 264.46 area. And if that does occur today, then we are in short sale mode. The market's still weak. Remember, after having closed below this 3 weeks ago, we have yet to close back above it, unless we do so today. And if we close today, Friday, back above 261.55, the question begs, what next? And once again, I would just have the market tell us, is it going to close above 284.34 then Monday, Tuesday of next week? And if so, then the buy signal that I outlined earlier, which would have these targets, that would come into play, but not until then. And so for day trading, you can short sell 284.34 and buy back at 264.46. You can even, day traders, go long at 264.46 and take profits at 284.34. But if the day wears on and we begin to collapse below 261.55 and we close below 261.55, this market shows weakness into next week. And then we have these lower price points that I would anticipate, 212.11, this old level we were showing weeks ago. We came close to testing it early March. That would become our next, our would resume as kind of a 1 to 2 week objective if we settle today back below the 261.55 channel bottom. And so forth and so on. I could draw out a series of targets, but there's no point really in going there. I think ultimately, if we close today below 261.55, still anticipating the low to mid 150s to low 160s as a 1 to 2 month objective, depending on volatility. So bearish through April with a settlement today below 261.55, and bullish through April with a settlement today above 284.34. If we close inside of that, it is wait and see what Monday and Tuesday of next week bring. I think that's really kind of the way to play this. Earlier this week on Tuesday, wickedstocks.com put out 2 stock picks, energy stocks. One is Oneok, which is an Oklahoma-based natural gas midstream operator, large cap stock, as well as Viper, another energy stock, symbol VNOM, both of which are on the precipice of meaningful buy signals that can play out into later year. I haven't looked at the charts in the last few hours, but they are right on the edge. You want to check it out, go to wickedstocks.com. You'll see it for free by taking advantage of our 5-day free trial, where you'll also see our Apple stock analysis. I don't know if you've been following our Apple stock. Maybe you're a subscriber to wickedstocks.com. We have been nailing that stock. We called the high back in December, the sell-off into the 210s, where we found support able to contain selling through the second quarter, and we've come off of that area nicely. So, for $47 a month, I think you get a lot with our analysis. A daily triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly S&P 500, weekly NASDAQ 100, and 2 stock picks a week. I think that pretty much rounds it out. You have a fabulous weekend. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla.